So this episode was supposed to be about Unchained Demon Hunters. I chose it specifically because it had one of the worst ratings on Steam, and it was a free-to-play game, so I was gonna see if I couldn't salvage something good from it. I mean, the art for the game looks neat, and the concept behind it was also pretty cool. Hints of Little Red Riding Hood combined with Japanese folklore and illustrated in Spicy Horse's unique dark fantasy style. Unchained Demon Hunters is an action role-playing game, ARPG, that lets players hunt mythical monsters in Edo-era Japan. However, it seems that people who got there before me have already formed an opinion. But then, even if I wanted to try to play it to see if they were wrong, it seems that Spicy Horses completely abandoned the game anyway. According to the reviews that are on the store right now, nobody can get into the game anymore, including myself, because the servers have been perma-killed and the company went under. Even their website is wonked up. Wikipedia says that on July 23rd of this year, Spicy Horse, which was a Shanghai-based company started by American McGee, of all people, you know American McGee, the guy who made American McGee's Alice, an actually really good game, shut its doors and packed up for good, despite McGee saying earlier that year that they were definitely not closing down. So I tried. I tried Unchained, really I did. I wanted to give you a chance. So instead, I picked up Age of Conan Unchained, an MMORPG that's free to play but with paid elements, like pretty much every MMORPG out there. So here's some information about it. Developed by Funcom, who's primarily developed MMO titles like The Secret World and Anarchy Online, Age of Conan takes place in Robert E. Howard's Conan universe. You play as one of several race-class combinations, and go about your life having started as a slave on a boat in the sea by the continent of the Hyborian Kingdoms. So let's get right into it, shall we? Character creation seems like it's an afterthought in this game. I mean, it feels like there's sort of a narrow view of what the designers think the players want from their character creation. That's not to say that you can't actually customize your character decently deeply, but there's just something a little underwhelming about making a character here. Also this. On a slave boat. Oh, of course. Of course, if you're one of the males, then you're one of the rowers. But if you're the female, then you are the one female on board. In the sleeping area, because of course, why not? I mean, I'm not asking for like Fallout 4 levels of customization, but I don't know, maybe this is kind of petty, because it really generally doesn't matter what your character looks like in an MMO anyway, which is why this is only the -5. The game's world feels actually pretty akin to the Conan world that we know from the books and the film adaptations. There's over-the-top random accents from dialects that couldn't have possibly developed anywhere near each other.
My name is Skeggy.
Anything for a paying customer.
You think Laranga's charity will keep you safe inside this city?
I am a blacksmith with no metal.
And the feel of the main city is pretty faithful to the feel of the world that it comes from. It's so high fidelity to its source material that I was offered in story, my character was offered a reward, and the very first reward that I was offered was for saving this woman's life. She'd been, like, captured by the looters that were looting the shipwreck on which I just so recently was. And so I saved her life and brought her to the city, and she offered me sex. It was implied sex, obviously, because you can't just right off the bat be like, you saved my life, let's bone. Like, it was a little bit squick, because I know if you're trying to make a historical, or at least pseudo-semi-historical piece of fiction, it's anachronistic to have these, like, modern-day sensibilities towards gender roles. But at the same time, it's also really squick to have these, like, scantily clad female characters offer to bed me because I saved her life, as if she thinks that she owes me something for having done what any sensible human being would have done. Actually, I was gonna complain about this bit until I figured out how it worked. Really, the combo system doesn't seem to be doing me any good right now. It just took me a really long time to figure out. There's a sort of unique combat system in this game that makes use of a real-time, like, combo input system based on the order in which you input your keystrokes. The developers actually touted it as being their main focus because of its differing aspects from normal MMOs. Your opponents have 3 levels that they can be attacked from, and depending on which ones they're guarding, if you put your attacks into the ones that aren't being guarded, they'll do more damage, which is super cool. And most of your special abilities are actually these combos that you activate by tapping the button that shows you what that combo is. So you go, I'm activating this combo, and then you input that combo using the buttons that you have, and then it does that extra bit of damage and things. I don't know, I thought it was really neat because it was a departure from form from most of the other MMOs that I've seen. But the problem with it is that if you don't get exactly like all of the information where it is introduced the very first time, then you never hear any more else about it whatsoever. And it's introduced in like a quest log box. Like a little thing pops up on the side of your screen and it's like, do you want to read this stuff? And it's, if you click yes, then it tells you, here's how to use the combat system. And if you click no, then you never see it. It took me far too long to figure out how to actually make use of the combo system. So I chose to be in the rogue class as an assassin during character creation, and I expected, as an assassin, that I would have some pretty slick assassin-y abilities and moves available to me to facilitate my being an assassin. What I was sorely disappointed by was the fact that I was presented with more than an hour of gameplay before I even got one vaguely assassin-esque ability, and everything else was attacks, special, like, slightly harder attacks, stun attacks. Like, they were just, like, melee crap. Maybe there's a good reason for it. What was the reason? No, the reason was the worst fiction trope that has ever been used in fiction. I hate it more than any other convention, and it's that the main character has amnesia. So even if they are a badass and they have all these, sweet skills, and in their previous life they're like a master assassin and they've killed like a bazillion people or whatever, because of their amnesia, they don't remember how to do them. But the problem doesn't even stop there. The problem goes on because there was no indication at the beginning of the game that I had amnesia. It only was given to me that I had amnesia when it was plot relevant to explain why I didn't have any new abilities. Like 3 fucking hours into the game. Like, I had memories, apparently. When I met a slaver, there was a slaver on the ship, and then I met him on the land, and I said, I remember you, you're the slaver on the ship, and then you kill him. How far back does the amnesia go? They don't really tell you anything about it. Whatever, this plot device is the worst thing. And I know it's maybe weird to complain about plot in an MMORPG, a free-to-play MMORPG no less, that I only played like 4 hours of, but there's gotta be something at the beginning that'll catch a player's attention. It's just the basic rules of fiction writing. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just didn't catch me. The voice acting is brilliant. And I don't say brilliant like top-notch, they got the best actors or whatever. I say brilliant because, just listen to some of these gems.
One summer I came here from grim, dark Cimmeria. Now I wish I had stayed in the north.
Be silent and be gone.
Your life's hours are running out, slave. I promise you that.
Traders abandon their stores or are murdered outright under suspicion of resistance involvement.
You want to see some magic? Hand me that tankard of ale, and I'll make it disappear.
I feel like in an over-the-top sort of game like this one, the voice acting has to be this cheesy, or else you just won't feel like you're getting the good things out of it, right? So there's this chart of some kind of like talents that you can apparently get that are based on your class. Here's what it looked like at the beginning of my gameplay. And here's what it looked like 3 hours into the game. There was no explanation of it in the in-game tutorial stuff. I went through and looked. There was nothing. There's no progress made on it for those entire 3 hours. There's nothing to indicate what it's used for, how to do it, what the fuck is it supposed to goddamn be? How do I get to it? How do I get the things that are on it? What are the things that are on it? What does it do? Is it something that I even get at all? Is it automatic? Is it not automatic? What are the numbers on it? What does it do? You can't just throw something that is an indication that you have like a cool skill tree system and then not tell us anything about it and not give us anything from it. Okay. Okay, so check it, right? There's a quest where a blacksmith who's building a wall asks you to collect 3 bricks from like the top of a hill that's nearby, right? Standard fare for MMO quests. And I was like, alright, it's a fetch quest. So I go up the mountain and this happened. Look at all of these stone bricks. Great. Oh, fuck. It's a dragon. Okay. I was actually really pleasantly surprised about it. They broke the mold for the traditional MMORPG quests in this game. No quest has been extermination or fetch quests or any of the like old traditional style, and each quest has actually been relatively different from the others. Sneak into a place, or kill a specific guy, or go through an area to get to a guy, and then decide whether or not to fight him. That's awesome. I wasn't expecting the ability to like talk down my opponents in a game like this one. It's really cool. So I'm actually really pleased with the quests in this game so far. Okay, here we go. There's a day and night system in this game that fucking sucks. The day portion of the game is the actual MMO portion, and the night portion is a singularly instanced version of the world where you are the only player character. This would be okay if the entire plot after getting into the city didn't revolve around the night cycle. I can't believe how much time I spent in an MMORPG in an instance where I was the only person I could interact with. Me and NPCs, and that's it. That's not an MMORPG, that is just a straight up RPG. Like, it defeats the whole purpose of the game being an MMO. For the first several hours of my session, I was playing alone, without even the possibility of having other players play the MMORPG game with me. I couldn't put them into my party for the quests that could have advanced the storyline and or you know, help to level me up so that I don't get murdered by the enemies that are coming after me. I couldn't do any of that because it was essentially a one-player game. What if I had friends who introduced me to the game? They were like, yeah, dude, Conan's rad, you should come and play it. And then for the first several hours, I don't get to play with them. What is this? I can't advance the story and play with my friends at the same time. I mean, the other players can't help me do the cool stuff to the main quest line. Night mode is just some bullshit. I can understand if it was like, there are specific instances where you can bring your party with you, but night mode in this game seems to be just you. Bugger that. That's lazy. Okay, really, so this one shouldn't be a plus, but just watch some of the bugs I've found. Yep, dead again. How did I fucking... Ha! What? What? What?
Casado, what the hell do you want?
I'm dead, though!
Slaves on the ship, did I not?
I'm dead!
Great profit. Mitrel pays well for...
Okay, so I finished the quest. And I definitely am dead. But not according to my sprite. Or my character model, I guess. Well, I'm glad that I'm back to being alive.
Look! Oh, look! Oh god, I hope I'm getting this on camera. Oh, holy shit, yes, this is amazing. Yeah, man, look at me go.
These were the most entertaining aspects of the game for me, which I guess sort of gives away my actual opinion on the game. Realistically, I know it's not going to be a great review when I play an MMO for only like 4 or 5 hours, but honestly, I gave this as much of a chance as it allowed me to give it. I wish I liked it more. I really like the Conan universe. I like the books. I like the several films, even though I've only watched like 3 of them. I like the universe. I like the characters. I like the other games that Conan has been in, where you play as Conan, that kind of thing. I like JonTron's video on the Conan games. But I can't get into this game. It just isn't good enough. Like, maybe if I had a really high-spec computer and everything run beautifully smoothly, and like all of the cool backgrounds were neat, and I didn't get angry about the fact that night mode was a piece of bullshit, then maybe it would be different. But I don't know, there comes a time, Thief, when jewels cease to sparkle, when the gold loses its luster, when the throne room becomes a prison, and all that's left is a YouTuber's love for games. Not this one though, this one sucked. Sorry, Age of Conan. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love making this series, it just takes me forever to do so. You can click here to check some of the other videos on my channel out. You can click here to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you'd be so kind, maybe take a look at my Patreon and help me keep making videos. See you guys in the next video.